यमुनातिरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो जय निताय गौरांगो जय प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा जय सुदर्शना जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की जय। श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव की जय। श्री श्री सुदर्शन भगवान की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam 7th Canto 10th Chapter, text number 39. Enaha purvakritam yat tad enah purvakritam yat tad rajanaha Krishna vairinaha Rajana Krishna vairinaha Jahus te ante tadatmanaha Jahustente tadatmanaha Kitaha Peshaskrito Yatha Kitah Peshaskrito Yatha Enah Purvakritam Yattad Rajana Krishna Vairinaha Jahustente Tadatmanaha Kitah Peshaskrito Yatha Purvakritam Yattad Jahustente Tadatmanaha Kitah Peshaskrito Yatha Enaha. The sinful activity of blaspheming the Supreme Lord, Purvakritam, executed in previous births, Yat, which, Tat, that, Rajanaha, kings, Krishna Vairinaha, always acting as enemies of Krishna, Jahuhu gave up. They, all of them, ante, at the time of death, tad atmanaha, attaining the same spiritual body and form. Kitaha, a worm, Peshaskritaha, captured by a black drone. Yatha, just like. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Not only Shishupal and Dantavakra, but also many other kings who acted as enemies of Krishna attained salvation at the time of death. Because they thought of the Lord, they received spiritual bodies and forms, the same as His. Just as worms captured by a black drone obtain the same type of body as the drone. Please repeat. Not only Shishupal and Dantavakra, but also many other kings who acted as enemies of Krishna attained salvation at the time of death because they thought of the Lord, they received spiritual bodies and forms the same as His. Just as worms captured by a black drone obtain the same type of body as the drone. Purport. The mystery of yogic meditation is explained here. Real yogis always meditate on the form of Vishnu within their hearts. Consequently, at the time of death, they give up their bodies while thinking of the form of Vishnu and thus attain Vishnu Loka, Vaikuntha Loka, where they receive bodily features the same as those of the Lord. From the sixth canto, we have already learned that when the Vishnu Dutas came from Vaikuntha to deliver a Jamil, they looked exactly like Vishnu, with four hands and the same features as Vishnu. Therefore, we may conclude that if one practices thinking of Vishnu and is fully absorbed in thinking of him at the time of death, one returns home back to Godhead. Even enemies of Krishna, who thought of Krishna in fear, Bhaya, such as King Kansa, received bodies in a spiritual identity similar to that of the Lord. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Here the comparison of the inimical kings is given to that of the drone and an insect. The drones or the bees, when they kill an insect dies thinking of that drone. And thus it is mentioned here in this verse of Bhagavatam, it obtains a similar body to that of drone. So this is the law of nature. It applies everywhere in all the species of life. So because the insect was At his final time, he was thinking of the drone. We see some insects also develop small wings. So, in a similar fashion, the understanding is if anybody dies thinking of Krishna at the time of death, then they also attain, just like apart from Shishupal and Dantavakra, the example given is of Kansa. Kansa also was able to attain the form. And what is the other evidence that the devotees get form like that of Lord Vishnu? The evidence is that of Ajamil. When Ajamil also chanted the name of Krishna, when Yamdutas had come, then very beautiful features. They were awestruck. Who are these people who have come? When they saw the features of Vishnu Dutas. And they were all four-handed. They were having club, mace, discus and lotus flower in their hands. So they were all looking exactly like Lord Vishnu. So thus these are the evidences which are there in the scriptures. Of course, sometimes people are misunderstanding the evidences when there is death of any living entity. So immediately if they are devotees, they will be elevated to Vaikuntha Loka. They will have four-handed form. So then they tell, just see, he became Vishnu. So we are all Vishnu. After death, he also became Vishnu. No, he is not become Vishnu. He has obtained a form which is similar to that of Lord Vishnu. So in Vaikuntha Loka, everyone has got these four hands. They are as opulent, as beautiful. They carry the same insignia. So they are servants of the Supreme Lord. So in this way, we can further understand, as we were discussing in the last class, how nature helplessly pushes us through various species of life. What shall we do? How shall we eat, mate, sleep, and what will be the cause of our death? Everything is fixed, very much fixed in all the other species of life. What kind of house the animals make, that is fixed. Snake will live in a certain kind of house. Birds will live in a certain kind of house. They have got perfect knowledge to make that kind of house, which will be able to maintain their life. But more than that, they cannot do. They are not free. They cannot have skyscrapers like us. They cannot plan anything else. This kind of house you will have, this kind of food you will eat. So everything is fixed for the animals, very much controlled. And we discussed how in human form of life, yes, there is little freedom. But this little freedom also, only if somebody is trained, one can utilize it. Otherwise, that also is lost. So that is why Sripad Shankaracharya, when he was touring the country, so he started lamenting. Why he started lamenting? Why he was touring the country in the first place? He was a sannyasi. He took sannyas at very early age. What was the age of Shankaracharya when he took sannyas? 7, 8 years. 8 years, I think they tell. So just imagine 8 years means it would be second standard, huh? Fourth standard. Fourth standard, yeah. No, why fourth standard? Maybe from nursery they'll put them into school. So otherwise, first standard maybe or second standard maximum. So he has just passed kindergarten, first or second standard, and just see, class one student, just after upper KG, he has gone to sannyas, 8 years of age. And what was the potency? He was able to establish the Vedas in the entire nation. Just imagine what is the potency. A kid is taking sannyas, class one, and then the Vedas almost vanished because of the influence of Buddhism. Almost vanished. But then he was able to single handedly re-establish the Vedas. The faith, of course, he was not able to give the right understanding because it was difficult for people to come to the right understanding of Vedas from a Buddhist philosophy. So that is why he presented covered Buddhism, Prachannam Bodham Uchyate. But still he was able to establish the Vedic understanding throughout the country. But then, because he was a covered devotee, as we have understood, it is there in the Padma Puran, Shiv Puran, various scriptures, the references are given. So he was a covered devotee. That is why finally, towards the end, he composed the famous verses in the glorification of Lord Krishna, and that is Bhaj Govind. That is not, that is indirect glorification. Actually, Sripad Shankaracharya is telling that please worship Lord Krishna. Any other thing is not going to help. So this is the 7th verse of Bhaj Govindam. So here Shankaracharya is lamenting. So when he's moving around, so why he was moving around? So that he can preach Krishna consciousness. So that is why sannyas or retired life is not meant for establishing yourself in convenience. But a person retires from worldly affairs so that he can work very hard. Thus Prabhupada explains, what is understanding today? If I retire, I will enjoy life. So let me accumulate money, retire at 30 or retire at 40 is the general understanding of youngsters, so that I can enjoy, I can have a good life, comfortable life. But retirement means decision to accept many discomforts in the service of Krishna. Comforts are allowed only in the household life. It is not that retirement is meant for having comfort. Retirement is for increasing discomfort. Vanprastha means discomfort, sannyas means extreme discomfort to the body. So when we take discomfort, we come to the platform of knowledge. And when there is sufficient knowledge, then a person travels across the country, across the world, and preaches, spreads this knowledge. So only an experienced person, wise man, can spread this knowledge. So not everybody is so enlightened, incarnation like Shankaracharya, that he can renounce at 8 years, or Madhvacharya 12 years. All these are just see what is their level, 8 years, 12 years. They are renouncing. Madhvacharya then established the true meaning of the Vedic literatures, renounced at 11 or 12 years, took sannyas. So the gradual process is there. Okay, you practically go and experience household life. Will it give you satisfaction? The answer is no. Because he's trained very nicely in Brahmacharya ashram, very easily they are able to renounce. No, that Brahmacharya life, that was very good. Then he continues. So in this way, when Shankaracharya was on a preaching tour, then he was lamenting seeing the situation of the people. And thus he composed this verse. It says, Balastavat krida saktaha, tarunastavat taruni saktaha, vriddhastavat chinta magnaha, parame brahmani api kopina lagnaha. It means, Balastavat krida sakta. Even though in human form of life, the little freedom that we have is not being utilized to solve the problems of life. Otherwise, in all other lives, it was fixed. We could not do anything to come out of this trouble, so many endless troubles that we have. Only in human form of life, we have the opportunity. But in human form of life also, this opportunity is getting lost. Children, they are lost in playing. Balastavat Krida Saktaha. Saktaha means attached. The children are very much fond of that same verse Prahlad Maharaj also tells here. The 20 years of life are lost in playing. And then, when a person becomes young, then Tarunastavat Taruni Saktaha. Young man is after young woman, woman is after man. So, in love affairs, in physical, psychological enjoyment, this entire life is, youthhood is wasted. And then a person thinks, when I become old, then I will follow Krishna consciousness. Then what happens in old age? Vriddhastavat chinta magna. So many anxieties in old age a person gets. Life is full of anxieties because he or she has increased the attachment to so many things. The more we have attachment to people, to places, the more we'll be anxious. What is happening to my this relative, that relative? Just like these teeth are attached here. 32, 34, whatever is the number. So if there is any problem here, then I'll be impacted. If there is problem in your teeth, will I be impacted? Why? I'm not attached, or that is not attached to me. Because these teeth are attached to me, or I am attached to them. So if there is any trouble in any teeth, does not matter 30 are good. 1 or 2 are, huh? It is very painful. So I was wondering why this extra tooth is called wisdom tooth. I realized when I got it. So much it pains like anything. So I joined temple at that time. And then there was this attack of wisdom tooth. And it was paining like hell. I was not able to do services also. Had to take break, had to visit doctor. So doctor told we have to remove it, not one. You are getting more wisdom. So also have to be removed. I told no sir, please don't remove any other. Okay, after 6 months we have to remove it. I mean, by Krishna's mercy, it is going on 15 years. But why it's called wisdom, I realize because so much it pains you realize dukhalayam ashashvata. Wisdom gets up. Otherwise, we think this life is very good. So when a person realizes the painful nature of this world, that is called the awakening of wisdom. If we think this life is all good and happy, then that is illusion. So Krishna is telling this is dukhalyam. When you understand it is dukhalyam, this is painful, that is called wisdom. So if we are attached, then we'll feel discomfort. I am attached to my teeth. Any disturbance in any one of them, I will get pain. So by the time a person gets old, he has cultivated attachment for so many people. Family, extended family of family, and then friends, and then properties, this property, that property. So much attachment. Thus chinta magna. In old age, even if a person wants, very difficult to think of Krishna because the mind is chinta magna, always in anxiety, always in worry. Parame brahmani kopi na lagna. So thus nobody is interested in Param Brahma, in the absolute truth. We are Brahma, spirit souls. Parabrahm means our source. Absolute truth. Nobody is interested in absolute truth. Children are interested in playing. Youngsters are interested in their boyfriends, girlfriends. And in old age, we are attached to so many affairs. We are always in anxiety. So nobody has time to understand absolute truth. So there was an arrangement for Srila Prabhupada in Mumbai itself. There was a house program in the house of the richest or one of the richest families of the country. Very big industrialists. They invited Prabhupada and the devotee who was temple president, he arranged the meeting. And yes, they was pious. Prabhupada tells if a person becomes yog bhrashta, if we are advancing very nicely in our spiritual life and we are not able to complete it, then what happens? Yes. Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yog Bhrashto Vijayate. We take birth in a rich family, business family, or very learned Brahmin family. Because all the business families, traditionally, especially in India, they were very pious, very devotees, very nice devotees. So here also, if we see, even in Prabhupada's time, all the leading business families, Prabhupada wanted to have a temple in New York. So requested the Singhania family. They immediately agreed, yes, we will, uh, I will sponsor the entire temple, provided the government allows, but government did not allow to invest in America. Then the other family, Dalmias, they sponsored the deity for the temple. Similarly, all the leading families, they have been devotees. So thus a person who is yog bhrashta, he takes birth in such families so that he doesn't have to strive for arranging the basic necessities of life and they can focus on Krishna consciousness. But then because there is so much of opulence, they also get lost, get addicted to material enjoyment. But anyway, the chance is there to advance in Krishna consciousness. So then he fixed this program with this family and then he discussed various topics on which topic Prabhupada should speak. So which topic was chosen? What topic people generally like to hear from devotees? Huh? Sorry? Grass? Ras Leela? No. What generally people like to hear? Yes, how to become successful in life. So they decided on this topic, how to become successful in life. So suppose we are told to discuss on this topic, to give a presentation, how to become successful in life. What shall we tell? Hmm? So if we are more courageous, we will touch Bhagavad Gita. And then we will tell the standard verse, don't be attached to the results. Don't think of the results and focus on your work. And unfortunately, most of the sadhus also doing this only. In the name of Bhagavad Gita, mundane motivation. Don't focus on the result and focus on your work. And like this, they preach. Simple thing. But we just see how Prabhupada is presenting very nicely on the topic. So Prabhupada came directly to the keynote of his address. Prabhupada tells, the subject matter was how to become successful in life. Krishna comes to instruct the simple truth that you are being controlled by the material energy, you give up this business. You be controlled by the spiritual energy and your life is successful. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, Jivera Swarup hoye Krishnera Nitya Das. But our disease is, instead of becoming Das, we are trying to become the master of the Prakriti. This is called the materialistic way of life. So that will not make us happy at any stage of our life. The success of the human form of life is to understand this, our relationship with God, and we should act in relationship with God. Then our success of life will be achieved. This is the main purpose of Krishna consciousness movement. So Prabhupada explained very nicely how to become successful in life. So Krishna comes here to explain this simple truth. What Krishna explains? That we are now controlled by material energy. But actually we are servants of Krishna. Jivera Sarupa hoye Krishnera Nityadas. So instead of being controlled by the material energy, we should desire to become controlled by Krishna, the spiritual energy. So the aim of human form of life is to realize our true identity, our relationship with God, and then act in that relationship. Because if we become servants of this material energy, then we will not be happy in any stage of life. As the small insect is servant, the drone is also servant of material energy. The drone is forced to eat that insect. Insect is forced to eat something else, forced to live in certain way. In this way, we have been servants. And in human form of life also, this servitorship is not easily to quit. The children are forced to play. Youngsters are forced to enter into affairs. And old people are forced into various anxieties. So in this way, unless there is specific training given to come out of all these affairs, to come out of force of material energy, it is not possible to come out. One will be forced. That is why we feel we are helpless. Helplessly we get pulled into things, pushed into things. So this is called being servant of material energy. I do not want, but I am being forced. So Prabhupada explained, this is called materialistic way of life. Jivera Swarupa hoye Krishnera Nitya Das. I am servant of Krishna as per my constitutional position. This is the scientific position of living entity. But our disease is, instead of becoming Das, we are trying to become masters of material nature. Let me control material energy and enjoy. Master has got right to enjoy the property. Servants do not have right. Servants also, they are engaged with the property so that master can be satisfied. And in this way, we discuss the servants also enjoy. He will live in the same palace, he will travel in the same car, he will eat the same food, have the same opulence. So you see, servant is having the same opulence as the master, even in material world. The servants of Mukesh Ambani, they live in the same. What is that called? Anthill. Anthill. They also live in the same house, the biggest house of the country. They eat the same food. The servant is also having the same opulence. But the servant is meant to engage in the service of the master. There's a difference. Then they also are entitled to enjoy the same opulence. But if they want to become master, no, I want to cook this because I want to eat, then they'll be removed. So thus Prabhupada explained, this is called materialistic way of life. So that will not make us happy at any stage of our life. That does not make a person happy at any stage of our life. The success of the human form of life is to understand this, our relationship with God, and we should act in that relationship. Then our success of life will be achieved. This is the main purpose of Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Prabhupada's speech was direct and frank. Quotes, Krishna said, you just offer a little flower and water to me. Krishna has told in Bhagavad Gita, as we are discussing, Patram Pushpam, Phalam Toyam, offer little water, little fruit. And if you think that we have got money, the money is for my enjoyment, and Krishna may be offered little water and flower, that is cheating. That is not good. According to your position, you must worship. This is wanted. To become very big businessman is not ordinary thing. It requires tapasya. Prabhupada is appreciating, yes. So there are some laws in this material world. You want to become a powerful person in this material world, tapasya is required. Without tapasya, there is no power. There is no success. To become very big businessman is not ordinary thing. It requires tapasya, very great labor, brain. Yat tapasyasi. But the result, Krishna says, Kurushva mad arpanam. He is asking, give it to me. So there is no harm to become very big businessman. Earning money, that is all right. There is no harm. So somebody can tell, oh, this is Maya. Being a businessman is Maya. Having money is Maya. Having opulence is Maya. Prabhupada is clearly telling there is no harm. No harm in being a big businessman in this world. That is all right. But you give it to Krishna. Yat tapasyasi. Kurushva tad madarpanam. You offer it to me, Krishna is telling. Then in any position you can remain Krishna conscious. And what is the benefit of remaining Krishna conscious? And if you remain Krishna conscious, then you will understand Krishna. The success of life is to stop this repeated birth and death and go back and live with Krishna in complete opulence, complete enjoyment. And this will be attained when we understand Krishna. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha. Understanding means having thorough conviction. Janma karma chame divyam. Manu understands Krishna's birth and activity scientifically, has thorough conviction. Then, tyaktva deham, leaving the body, he does not take more births here. So who can understand Krishna? Only one who is always Krishna conscious. But how do I remain Krishna conscious? I have got so many busy affairs in my office, in my meetings with my clients. It is difficult to be Krishna conscious. So Prabhupada is giving the solution here. Krishna gives the solution. Tat kurushama darpanam. So there is no harm to become very big businessman earning money. That is all right. But you give it to Krishna. Then in any position you remain, you can remain Krishna conscious. Prabhupada is telling. In any position. So this is the very special understanding which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given, which is not possible to follow in the teachings of Sripad Shankaracharya. He gave very valuable instructions, but his instruction was renounce, take sannyas. Then we will talk of spiritual perfection. It is not possible to perfect yourself without renunciation. First you renounce, then we will talk of self-realization. That is called Gyan Marg, Nivritti Marg. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, Sthane sthita shruti gatami punsam tanuman manobhi. There is no harm and no need to give up this engagement with material affairs, provided you know your position that you are Krishna Das, you are servant of Krishna. Then you engage with material energy. Then there is no harm. And thus we see the most exalted devotees, they did not give up. Many exalted devotees, they did not give up their material affairs. They were in positions of king also. Maharaj Pratap Rudra, he was a pure devotee. He did not give up his kingdom. He was ruling, but at the same time, he was a pure devotee. He was in ecstasy. So once Pratap Rudra Maharaj, when he was having darshan of Lord Jagannath, it was Rath Yatra. And in Rath Yatra, it was the very special moment. All the devotees would come from Jagannath Puri. And for 3-4 months, they would remain because it rains. Now, in June, it will happen, Rath Yatra. After that, it rains. And during Rath Yatra also, sometimes it rains. In rainy season, you do not go travel, especially in those days when you would travel on foot. So devotees would stay put wherever they are. Sannyasis would be there in that place and they will discuss Krishna consciousness. So in rainy season, there is no business but discussing Krishna consciousness, because all these sannyasis, they will travel. So it's called Chaturmasya. So that is why austerities are recommended in Chaturmasya.
If we are not austere, we will not be able to understand Krishna consciousness. So minimize gratification, take advantages of the sages who have stopped moving. Otherwise, the sannyasis are supposed to keep on moving to avoid any kind of attachment, keep on traveling. But in Chaturmasya, they don't travel because in rains you cannot. You stay there and then you discuss Krishna consciousness. So the devotees would come to Jagannath Puri and then Rath Yatra. So Rath Yatra was going on and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy. And all the devotees, they also were absorbed seeing the ecstatic dance of. So this process of chanting and dancing is so nice, Prabhupada explains. This Krishna consciousness is so nice, what to speak of actually executing it. This process of chanting and dancing is so powerful that even a dog can get liberated. And dogs also got liberation in the Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So thus it is told we should not take it as an ordinary process. Simply by singing, clapping, dancing in front of the deities, in front of specifically Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is incarnation for Kali Yuga, one can attain all perfection of life. Even dogs attain perfection by this process. So what to speak of executing? Prabhupada tells even this execution of devotional service is so pure that simply by seeing, the onlookers also get liberated from the clutches of Maya. That is why you see when devotees do Sankirtan, the onlookers also, they get absorbed. They also get freed from all the anxieties simply by listening to the Sankirtan, simply by watching the Sankirtan. So thus this execution of this devotional service is so pure that the onlookers also get liberated. So thus all the devotees, they were in liberated position seeing the dancing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And one such devotee was Srivas Thakur. So Srivas Thakur, also incarnation of Narad Muni, he was completely absorbed in watching Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing. And King Pratap Rudra also was standing behind because they were making circles so that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't get disturbed, because ordinary people would like to touch his feet and approach him. So they would make circles, the intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then behind them there was another circle, and then there was another circle by the guards of King Pratap Rudra. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was protected in 3 circles. So Pratap Rudra Maharaj was also watching and he was completely absorbed. But then because of Srivas Thakur, he was not able to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing. So the assistant of the king, he tried to push because king is standing. What is the position of king? They were very powerful, very respectable Nardev. They were respected like the Supreme Lord because kings actually were Raj Rishis. They were not like the Dasyu Rajanya Rupinaha. It is told in Kali Yuga, the administrators would be actually Dasyus. Dasyu means plunderers. The so-called administrators, they would be plunderers, but they will take the position of leaders of society, administrative class. But their only business will be how to exact some taxes and fill their pockets. Dasyu Rajanya Rupina, Ved Vyas predicted. But otherwise, the administrators in Vedic age, they were Raj Rishis. They were Rishis, they were saints. But they have taken the duty of administration. But actually, they are saints. They are completely well versed in the knowledge of the Vedas. Rishis dressed as kings, they were called Raj Rishis. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj, Parishit Maharaj, Manu, they were very eager to retire. Now, Prabhupada says, unless they are shot dead, they don't leave their positions. The presidents and the ministers, and unless they die, they don't leave, they remain dabbling in politics. Yes, these affairs are required, but finally a person is supposed to dedicate completely to understand and spread this knowledge, Krishna consciousness. But people are not willing to leave their posts and positions. But we see all these Raj Rishis, they were very eager. How soon can I appoint my successor and leave for self-realization, for preaching Krishna consciousness? They were very eager. Yudhishthir Maharaj, as soon as he got to know, Pandavas, as soon as they got to know. So when we were explaining, Arjuna fought because Lord Krishna told him to fight. So he told one of the very bright students from IIT, he told, no, Arjuna fought for his own kingdom. Why for Krishna? But no, there's misunderstanding. They were not at all interested in kingdom. Only because of interest of Krishna they fought. And thus when they got to know that Lord Krishna has disappeared from the planet, immediately they left. Yudhishthir did not care about his wife, his mother, he left. Brothers, when they saw our elder brother is leaving, Lord Krishna has gone, so they understood our business is over here. We are servants of Krishna. They also left. And wife saw that husbands have left, wife also left, mother also left. Everyone left. So all of them, although they were ordinarily very much interested in these affairs, they were not at all interested. They were behaving like a family person, like a king, like an administrator, only so that Krishna's purpose can be served. Otherwise, they had no personal interest. This is called Raj Rishi. Very eager to retire as soon as they are able to find a successor, as soon as Krishna's work. So thus, Pratap Rudra also, Maharaj Pratap Rudra was a Raj Rishi, a pure devotee of Krishna. And he also wanted to see Krishna, but he was not able to see because Srivas Thakur was obstructing. But then he was being pushed little by his assistant. So when Srivas Thakur was pushed, he little resisted because he was also absorbed. He is also a pure devotee. Again, he did not bother. Who is pushing me? And then he continued looking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, blocking Pratap Rudra's vision. Again, he was pushed. He did not bother. Third time, when he was pushed, he became very angry and he slapped this person. So angry? We just discussed he's a pure devotee, incarnation of Narad Muni. How devotee can become angry? No, he has become angry in the service of Krishna. Because the service of Lord Krishna is being disturbed. He is absorbed in pure devotional service of observing the dance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is being disturbed. So he became angry. Why you are interrupting my devotional service? So anger is very much required. It is not optional. It is required, but in the service of Krishna. Nothing is bad in the service of Krishna. But in our welfare, our personal interest, everything is bad. Thus he became angry. This anger was justified because he was feeling tremendous love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So thus he slapped him. And then he became very agitated. And he was king's right hand. Just imagine if he is being slapped in public. So that is a great insult. So he wanted to retaliate. But then Maharaj Pratap Rudra, he stopped him. No, don't. You are very fortunate. You have got the glorious touch of a pure devotee of Krishna. So I am not so fortunate. You are fortunate. Your life is successful. So thus Maharaj Pratap Rudra was having such an advanced understanding. So thus our affairs, they do not disturb our Krishna consciousness. What disturbs is that we are trying to become masters of the material energy. Maharaj Pratap Rudra told, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not grant me his association, I will become a beggar. I will take a begging bowl in my hand and beg. I have no interest in my kingdom if I don't get association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this was the mood. So in this mood, as a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, servant of Lord Krishna, if we are doing our duties, our business, our job, our education cannot harm us at all. We can maintain perfect. This is the special contribution of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Similarly, other devotees, they continued. Murari Gupta continued being a doctor. Being doctor is no harm. Being king is no harm. Other devotees, they continued their profession. Kolavicha Sridhar, he continued selling banana leaves, cups of banana leaves. But at the same time remained a pure devotee. From that little earning what he was getting, very poor, his roof was broken, his vessels were broken. So he was much below poverty line. The roof is broken. Vessels are broken. But then, even from that, whatever little money he would make, he would spend 50% of that in service of Mother Ganges, in devotional service. So thus, if we follow the regulative principles of devotional service, in whichever situation we are, we can remain in the topmost position of spiritual perfection. So it does not matter, whatever is our engagement, the result should be offered to Krishna. That engagement should be only for the interest of Krishna. So thus Prabhupada mentioned here, then in any position, there is no harm to become very big businessman earning money, that is all right, but you give it to Krishna. Then in any position you can remain Krishna conscious. So then our duties will not disturb us. Our jobs, our material association that we have in our office, in our workplaces, it is not going to disturb us in any position, provided a result of that work is offered to Krishna. And if you remain Krishna conscious, then you will understand Krishna. Prabhupada explained. In this way, Prabhupada very nicely explained how to become successful in life. So this is actually very important instruction. In another context, another talk, I think it was a morning walk, Prabhupada was explaining the same thing. So the guest was not able to understand, how do I become servant of Krishna? So Prabhupada told, I just told, you follow the instruction of Krishna. But your question should be, how do I get that instruction from Krishna? Then only I can become servant. Okay, Arjuna was servant. He took the instruction. How do I get the instruction? Then I also would like to become servant. Who would not like to become servant of Krishna? So Prabhupada explained, yes, this is answered in Bhagavad Gita itself. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarsho vidu evam parampara. This instruction of Krishna comes down in parampara. So in this way, if we take the instruction in parampara and we follow that instruction perfectly, then we are Krishna conscious. We can be Krishna conscious in any situation, and then we understand Krishna. So thus we should understand this principle of parampara very, very nicely. We are so fortunate that we are able to receive that instruction in parampara. So this instruction which is coming down to us through the devotees in this very glorious parampara, if with great faith and conviction we take it, oh, this is Krishna's instruction, and if we follow it, then we can remain Krishna conscious. Then we can remain, then our life becomes successful. So always we should see 24 hours. I am following the instructions of the parampara. I should have great faith. With great love, I should take up and follow those instructions very, very closely. And we should give up our independence. So all the cause of troubles in our life are just because of this being master. Krishna has given simple instructions. And when we tell follow, people tell I do not have time. Now, suppose master tells his servant, you do this, and servant tells, I do not have time. The master tells the chef, you cook this, and he's telling, I do not have time. What master will tell nonsense? Go away. That is our situation. We do not have time to execute the orders. And then what is the situation Prabhupada tells? Then that will not make us happy at any stage of our life if we don't agree to follow these instructions. So then after this class, then Prabhupada, then he asked for questions. Any questions? There was a long silence. Prabhupada asked Hindi mein, Mataji boliye. Matajis were there. Puchiye questions. Long silence. Anyway, they took Prabhupada for dinner and then it was a nice talk. 11 o'clock they reached the temple. And so in between, the devotee who was with Prabhupada, he requested them, we should have questions. If we don't have questions, then we should surrender to Krishna. We are not surrendering. It means we have some questions. So why don't you ask? So Prabhupada tells, yes, you ask or you surrender. Krishna is telling, surrender unto me. So if we are not surrendering to Krishna, we are not following these instructions perfectly. We are having some reservations because there are some doubts. So ask. But nobody asked. So then, anyway, overall, it was very satisfactory meeting, and one of the richest persons of the country, and then they heard something, and they were traveling back in car. So the disciple told Prabhupada it was very successful, but Prabhupada told there were no questions. It means they were not interested in the subject matter. So why they were not interested in the subject matter? Why there were no questions? Mahabhagavat, who can give all the answers to all the questions that you may have, he is sitting there. If you ask him how to stop being old, he will give you the answer. If you ask him how to get rid of all the diseases, how to never get diseased, he can give you answer. If you ask him how to stop death, he can give you answer. But then no interest. So why there is no interest? Why there are no questions? The topmost knowledgeable person, he is speaking, still they were not interested. Why they were not interested? So that is why Prahlad Maharaj tells beautiful verse. Matir na Krishne Parato swato va mito bipadyeta griha vratanam. Adant gobhir vishatam tamishram punah punah charvit charvananam. Adant go, because those who have taken vows of sense gratification, I will enjoy my senses till the end of my life. That is called griha vratanam. Those who have taken vrata, we take vrata, vows. So, what is the vow of materialist? I will enjoy life till the end of my life. So, those who have taken this vow of enjoyment, Adanta Gobi, why they have taken this vow? Because Adanta, what is the meaning of Danta? Control. Go means senses. Adanta Gobhihi. Their senses are Adanta. Senses are not controlled. Because they are not able to control their senses, they have taken a vow. I will keep on enjoying the senses. Senses means senses and mind, gross and subtle. Adanta Gobi Vishatam Tamishram. Because they cannot control their senses, they have taken a vow of sense enjoyment, and a sense enjoyer can never understand, will never develop interest in Krishna consciousness. Krishna Mati will never awaken. Will never awaken by Parataha. Even if the most learned man comes, you go and talk to a dog. My dear dog, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. What dog will tell? Wow, wow. Dog will not develop any interest. How much ever greatest person can come and understand, of course. Exception is the case of very advanced devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told dog, chant Hari Hari. Dog started chanting Hari Hari, and dog got liberated. So this is a special case. Very advanced devotees can make animals also chant. Otherwise, Matirna Krishna Parto Swato. Ordinarily, even very wise man will come to you, interest will not be awakened. If we are also not trained to control our senses. Martirna Krishna Parto Swatova, or you analyze the scriptures very, very nicely. That is why there have been very expert scholars, but they have not been able to understand the basic scripture like the Bhagavad Gita. They don't understand. Swatova, by your own speculation, by hearing from any other person, Mitho Bipadyeta, or by conference, discussion, Krishnamati, Krishna consciousness, one can never understand. Who has taken vow of sense enjoyment? So that is why controlling the senses is very much required. If senses are not controlled, this Krishna consciousness, that is why Nivritta Tarshai Rupe Giyamanat Bhava Shadashrotra Manoviramat. Ka Uttama Shloka Gunanuvadat Puman Virajeta Vina Pashugnat. So this Krishna consciousness is very pleasant. So the devotee who was traveling with Prabhupada, his father was very rich lawyer in America. And his father told him, I will give you $1 million. You give up Krishna consciousness. $1 million of 1960s or 70s. $1 million. You give up Krishna consciousness. So that is unlimited money. But I told, no, I will not. So we can understand how Krishna consciousness is so relishable that even for $1 million, person cannot give up. For millions of dollars, person will not give up. But who cannot understand, who cannot relish? Nivritta Tarshar, who is not Nivritta Trishna, whose hankering to enjoy this material life has not vanquished. Only those who are Nivritta Trishna, who are freed from material hankerings, they can chant the name of Krishna, they can relish Krishna consciousness. Nivritta Tarshar Upagiyamanad Bhavashadash. It is Bhavashidhi. It is remedy of all the problems of life, provided it is Shrotra, it is received from bona fide disciplic succession. If we hear Shrotra Manobhiramat, it is very, very pleasing. Abhiram means, Rama means, we discussed in Ram Navami, pleasure. Abhiram means something which is very pleasant. Mana means mind. Mind gets completely satisfied in Krishna consciousness in these activities. So much pleasure that devotee is telling, I don't want your millions of dollars. I will not give up this chanting and hearing. Manobhiramat. But unless Nivritta Trishna, One has controlled the senses. Material hankerings have not gone away. Person cannot relish. Thus it is told, Puman virajeta vina pashuk. Anybody can relish Krishna consciousness, but a person who is pashugnath. Pashugnath means animal killer or self killer. So the living entity is also called Pashu, because we are also like animals if we don't take up to Krishna consciousness. Eating, mating, sleeping, defending, we'll be doing by using technology. That's it. If a sweeper cleans the floor by technology or with that broom, sweeper remains a sweeper. He cannot tell I'm using electric mop. I am CEO now. No, sir, your activity is same. So ahar, nidra, bhay, mathun, eating, mating, sleeping, defending. If we are doing with our advanced knowledge by gaining BTech and MBA, but still if we are doing eating, mating, sleeping, defending, Shastras are telling you are Pashu, Dvipad Pashu, although you are walking on two legs, but Pashu. There is no difference. You are using technology, but you are animal. Animal using technology, that's it. Because activity is same. Ahar, nidra, bhay, mathun. There is no higher purpose of life. So thus, the living entity also is called Pashu. So Pashugna, those who are animal killers, they don't have sense, other living entities feeling pain. Or those who are sense enjoyers, they kill their own self. So thus what to speak of, Prabhupada explains training people to control the senses. So to understand Krishna consciousness, to have this inquisitiveness, what is truth of life? This inquisitiveness does not arouse unless one is trained to control the senses. And this sense control should be taught at a very young age. But at young age, the children are being taught to enjoy senses. Thus, Prabhupada tells, the parents are thinking, I am giving pleasure to my children by giving them sense enjoyment. Oh, we could not afford all these luxuries when we were small. Let us not deny our children any comfort of life. Let us give whatever they want. Oh, child, you want to eat this? Eat that also. Why you are eating less? Become fatty like a football. Eat more. And you want to go to Disneyland? Go to that land also. Go this land also. You want this toy? Have this toy also. You want this thing? You want smartphone? Have tablet also. And play entire day. Have everything, all the luxuries of life. And then what is the result? So thus Prabhupada tells. To train the innocent boy to be a sense gratifier at the early age when the child is actually happy in any circumstance. So, children, they can be happy in any circumstance. They don't have so many demands. Anyway, they will live. Thus, Prabhupada tell if you tell them to follow austerity, they will follow very nicely. They will take it as a great fun. Oh, let us get up early, do Mangala Aarti. They will take it as great fun. Control the senses, have simple life. So Prabhupada told. Even now in Mayapur, you go there, they sleep early, 7:30, they get up 2:30 or 3 o'clock. So Prabhupada told, give them sufficient rest at night, then they'll not be sleepy at Mangalarti, and they will enjoy this life very nicely. So like this, Chanakya Pandit tells, from 5 years to 16 years, you should be very, very strict with your children, very, very strict. And yes, after 16 years, be like friend to them. Then you cannot exert this. Otherwise, they will rebel. But from till 5 years, let them run, jump, let them enjoy. That is natural activity of kids. But from 5 years to 16 years, you should be tadayet bahavo guna, lalayet bahavo dosha. Pampering will give rise to various problems. But tadayet, if you are strict, bahavo guna, many good qualities will arise in them. But praptam tu shodashe varshe, after 16 years, putram mitrvatacharet. You should treat your children like friends. So very nicely, very scientifically, the Brahmanas, they have given us the instructions. But this is not being followed. Children are being trained to be very luxurious, very comfortable, enjoy senses without restriction. And people think that, no, yahi to age hai enjoy karne ki. This is the age. Let them enjoy. These rules, regulations, fasting, other things. So sometimes, people come for interviews for Ashra exam. So one such couple in one of our centers, they had come for interview. You are following regulative principles? Yes. Meat eating? No. Egg eating? No. बट यस बच्चों को तो प्रोटीन चाहिए ना, उनको ऑमलेट खिलाते थे। तो अभी बच्चे हैं छोटे, उनको तो थोड़ा एंजॉय करने दो, लेट देम एंजॉय देयर किड्स। सो प्रभुपाद टेल्स to train the innocent boy to be a sense gratifier at the early age when the child is actually happy in any circumstance is the greatest violence. So this is actually violence. We are discussing there should be no violence, remain peaceful, have this thing. What is violence? Making your child enjoy without any restriction, it is the greatest violence. Why greatest violence? Because the child will get addicted to material enjoyment, and this enjoyment will lead him to unlimited sufferings in this life and then life after life. This unrestricted sense enjoyment is the result of repeated births and deaths. You have created a tendency in him. Because of him or her, they will keep on suffering from repeated birth and death, life after life. So actually, you have killed your children life after life. It is told parents' duty is you do not have right to become parents. Na mochyate yas samupeta mrityam. If you cannot stop the death of your children, only if you are capable, Vedic Vedas are telling, then only you should become parents. If you are confident, I can stop the death of my children. Otherwise, janani na sasyat, pita na sasyat. You don't have right to become father and mother. So how we can stop their death? If we can tell them to become perfect controller of senses, then they will not die. They can understand Krishna consciousness, they'll become immortal. So then only you should become parent. This is important. So this sense enjoyment is the act of greatest violence. You have trained him or her in such a nice way that they are going to die life after life. So people do not know this. So thus it is very important that we control the senses. Adant Govid. If we are not able to control our senses, then Mitho Vipadyeta. We keep on hearing a lot. We ourselves keep on discoursing, or we have various discussions about the subject matter. It will not be able to understand Krishna consciousness. Adant Gobhi. If senses are not danta, not controlled. So, in order to control the senses, that is why very nice system has been given to us by Prabhupada. Thus, Rup Goswami also mentions in Updeshamrita, unless one's mind and senses are controlled, there is no question of making any spiritual advancement. So, thus, Prabhupada explains one has to get these are called Brahminical qualities. So, sometimes in our movement, we take it very casually. I'm not so Brahminical. I'm having uh, Kshatriya spirit. So, that is why I like to beat my god brother. Or I'm having Vaishyas because I'm interested in this thing. No, we might be having different inclinations, but eventually we must cultivate Brahminical spirit. We must. Unless we become Brahmanas, Prabhupada explains, Goswamis have explained, there is no questions of developing symptoms of love of God. There is no question. Shama, Dhamma, Tapa, Shaucham, unless we are austere, unless our mind is controlled, unless our senses are controlled, we should be very, very rigid in controlling our mind and senses. Tapasya, brahmacharya, very strong in following. So when we are perfect Brahmana, then only we can become Vaishnava. Then only we can. So we should be very, very disciplined, very, very strict in controlling. When we are very disciplined in mind and sense control, we become Brahmana, very, very clean, Shaucham, everything is very clean. So then we'll be able to understand Krishna consciousness. Then, and if we understand, if we are Krishna conscious, we understand Krishna, then we are free from all the problems of life. So we should try to understand these instructions very, very nicely. And the process is very simple. From Prabhupada summed it up very nicely. To become successful in life, from being servant of material energy, we have to become servant of spiritual energy. If I follow the instructions of my mind and intelligence, as long as it is materially contaminated, we are servants of Maya. And if we follow the instructions of spiritual master, whose mind is completely liberated, then that means we are under shelter of, we are acting as servants of Krishna. So if I keep on following the dictates of my mind and intelligence, I keep on making my independent plans, then I remain dissatisfied in every stage of life. And if I decide, no, let me surrender now. I am so fortunate, I've got this wonderful parampara. The instructions are coming down. Let me try to follow closely, 24 hours, all the instructions very nicely, remain a humble servant of Krishna. Then if we surrender like this, then our life is successful. So we'll end here. Any questions? Yeah. So sorry, just to one more thing I wanted. So we are again very fortunate that we can see uh, the wonderful exemplary behavior of devotees in our association. So I was having a Zoom call with a devotee a couple of days ago. So sorry, Google Meet, yeah, video call. So there was a lot of distraction on the other side. So I asked the devotee, Prabhu, what is this noise? I am not able to hear you properly. So Prabhu told, actually, that is fan running. So I'll just turn it off. So I told, you are using fan because although in Mumbai it is okay, manageable, in other parts of the country it is very hot, especially from where the devotee was talking. So I told, and I know because in that center we have air conditioners also. So Prabhu, you don't have AC in that room where you are sitting? So he told, no, Prabhu, we have, but I don't use it. So we can see even though it is very hot, it is summers, AC is there, but devotee is not using it. So this is called tapasya. These are Brahminical qualifications. So of course, yes, we need to be comfortable, then we can follow Krishna consciousness. But as far as possible, we should understand that these principles. So I felt very nice that I am in association of such devotees who are so nicely trying to follow all these principles of controlling the senses, advancing in Krishna consciousness. Yes, sir. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yes. So very nice question is asked. So animal killer has been given two meaning here, Pashugnath. One who actually kills the animal or one who is self-killer. Two meanings are there for Pashugnath. Animal killer and self-killer. Animal killers agreed, not everyone can be, but almost everyone is self-killer. So how the movement is increasing and so many people, devotees are, uh, so many people are becoming devotees across the world. So there are two understandings. First, we have to understand what is a devotee. So yes, the number of devotees are increasing, but they may not be matching the actual standard of devotee who are able to understand Krishna consciousness. And many people, they might affiliate themselves to the movement, but they cannot be considered devotees unless they are completely surrendered and actually they preach Krishna consciousness. That is why Prabhupada told, what is initiation? Your determination to follow the rules and regulations very nicely, that is called initiation. And if you are eager to preach this Krishna consciousness around the world, that is called initiation. Otherwise, if we simply do a formality, we ourselves are not very strict in following the rules and regulations, nor there is desire to preach, then we are not considered advanced. And the disciple asked Prabhupada that he was talking in context to a very large following of a person. So he's having so many thousands, 10,000 disciples. So Prabhupada told, what is 10,000? There are so many stars in the sky, but they cannot remove the darkness of night. But one moon is sufficient. So what is the use of thousands of disciples if none of them, they can follow Krishna consciousness nicely. So what is Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada then explains, यारे देखो तारे कहो कृष्णोपदेश पापी तापी जत छीलो हरि नाम उद्धारी लो papi is tapi, all those who are suffering in this world, all those who are sinful, holy name can deliver everyone. Who has got this conviction? Who is spreading this conviction around? Hari naam uddhari lo, everyone got delivered. who is going around and spreading Yare Dekho Tare Kaho Krishna Updesh, Prabhupada tells. This is called a devotee. So that is why Prabhupada explains, my Guru Maharaj, he left this world early when he saw his neophyte disciples were increasing in number. So many disciples were there. But when he saw that they are neophytes, neophyte means they will be having Brahminical qualifications also. They will be very, very rigid in rules, regulations, in cleanliness, controlling the mind, controlling the senses, but they cannot preach. So Prabhupada told, but nobody, none of them have sensed how to preach Krishna consciousness. They have no capability, have no strength. So my Guru Maharaj, even though he had thousands of disciples, when he saw neophyte disciples are increasing in number, he left this world earlier. Otherwise, he would have stayed on for more time. So that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expects. Suppose a very learned professor is coming to give a discourse, and you tell, sir, please tell me A for apple, B for ball. Then he'll not be happy, he'll be unhappy. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come here, he has come here to explain the topmost philosophy. Krishna himself is coming and explaining. So when Krishna himself is coming and teaching, he needs to explain the topmost understanding of spiritual life. And if the students are not of that caliber, that does not satisfy. So simply by seeing the increased numbers, we should not understand that actually people are able to understand Krishna, they are increasing Krishna consciousness. On the other hand, yes, we see, yes, we are having many sincere devotees also, and their numbers are also increasing. Many preachers are also increasing. And all of them actually have controlled the senses. So yes, unless we control the senses, no question of understanding. Unless we have understood, there will be no urge, no inspiration to explain to others. And then we remain on the formal material platform, Prakrit Bhakta. We are Bhakta, but on material platform. There is no spiritual experience, no advanced realizations. So in this way, yes, we'll come back. We'll take another question. Those who are listening from the folk residencies can please carry on because the time is up, but I'll continue taking some more questions. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So the question is, somebody is very enthusiastic for dancing, singing, but they are showing a slackened attitude for other services. So what would be the result? The result is if they are singing and dancing very nicely, they'll be able to do other services also eventually. So the beginning is singing and dancing. Anybody can do that. Small child also will do. Child does not know what is this. But eventually he'll become very nice, surrendered devotee. So if they are doing singing and dancing very nicely, everything will come up gradually. But if singing and dancing is not happening nicely, then we will fall down whatever service we are doing. So that is why Prabhupada, in any circumstances, we just shared, there was the meeting of governing body council. So that is the topmost body of the movement. They are discussing on most serious subject matters. Once in a year, they would meet in the Mayapur, and then they would meet for around 3 days, sometimes for a week if it is very, otherwise for 3 days. So time is less. But then Prabhupada got to know that they are not coming for the artis, evening and morning. So Prabhupada called them, he told, each and every one of you should come for the evening arti and for the morning arti. Huh? No, half an hour before your meeting should finish. So 7 o'clock is the meeting. By 6:30, your meeting should get over, and you should listen. As we discussed, when there was this very crucial and very engaging affair going on to acquire the temple for the land for the Juhu temple, and Prabhupada told when the affair got over that we should not repeat this in future. It was so much tension, so much anxiety. But then, even in the midst of all those anxieties, Prabhupada would tell the temple president, whatever may happen, we may get land or not, you should come back to the evening and dance in front of the deities. You should never leave. So, can anybody tell this? People lose their uh, mental balance when there is such pressure. You may lose the land, crores of money, everything is at stake. Movement is at stake. But Prabhupada told, come what may. We may get land or not, you come back in the evening and sing and dance in front of the deities. This you should never give up. So just see, devotee is forced to remain happy without any anxiety. You come, you sing and dance. What anxiety you can maintain? It goes away. So Prabhupada tells, even if you're not feeling like, force yourself to sing and dance, and very soon you will be in ecstasy. So every morning, every evening, compulsorily there is singing and dancing. If the singing and dancing is not going on and we are indulging so-called other affairs, preaching, everything will get stopped. They should always continue. Online, Prabhu? Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. So the question is, somebody is not able to stay in the company of devotees because I think this is for some reason he's at home, probably because of vacations or whatever. So now, because there is no devotee association, he is not able to follow the rules and regulations nicely. So he wishes to hear some words of inspiration. So yeah. Uh, so this point has been explained very nicely by, of course, throughout the scriptures. And if you search on our YouTube channel, Satsanga, Principles of Satsang, I've explained in detail all these principles nicely. So you'll get elaborate answer for your question in that lecture. So you please search Principles of Satsang and you will get the elaborate understanding. And to summarize, please, you have realized how difficult it is without association. So association is a secret. So please never ever miss the association of devotees. So now in your situation, what you can do, creating association is very easy. So it is not that we should become a victim. Simply take Prabhupada books with you, go and ask some people. You ask 10, 20 people, one will agree to read those books. And then go in the evening, discuss with them. In this way, you are having devotee association. So it is very easy. Go out with Prabhupada books wherever you are and request people to chant little and understand these books. And with them, you can start this chanting hearing and you are having devotee association. In this way, in any part of the world, we can create devotees and have association with them. But please try to not leave association of devotees and especially association of advanced devotees. Question is, how do we know our spiritual life is successful or not? So the answer is given. As a person who is eating, there is no proof required. Our lust, our greed, material desires will come down. When a person eats, hunger vanishes. He gets taste. We'll get taste in spiritual life. Now we are very eager for material enjoyment, reading material news affairs. We'll be very eager to read, understand Bhagavad Gita. We are eager to hang out with our materialistic friends. We'll be eager to live with the devotees. In this way, we'll have taste. Preeti stad vasati sthale. When will I visit Dham? When will I have visit temple? This strong desire will be there. Taste will be there in spiritual affairs. We'll get strength to counter the material desires. In this way, we can understand our spiritual advancement. And real advancement is when we become preachers of Krishna consciousness. So the question is, if there are questions from the audience, what should be our conclusion? Is the speaker very qualified or is the audience very qualified? And sometimes audience may not be qualified. They ask irrelevant questions. So how do we understand? So yes, we understand that the speaker may be very qualified, but if audience is just like here, so it does not so matter. So that is why it is told bodhayanta parasparam. The discussion should be among devotees. The speaker and the listener both should be qualified. And then others who are hearing such conversations, they are able to make tremendous advancement by such hearing. And that is what is happening when Bhagavatam is happening or other things are happening. The speaker is very qualified, listener is also very qualified, and we are hearing those discussions. So in this manner, this is the proper system to discuss Krishna Katha. So that is why we can understand by relevant questions. If relevant questions are there, that means it is a nice combination. And irrelevant questions are anyway. No questions or irrelevant questions. They are of no use. Yeah. 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 Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So the question is, as we discussed, one can remain in any position and remain Krishna conscious if the results are offered to Krishna. But some people may offer the results, but they are attached to that position. So, what is the situation of those people and how to improve from that position? So, the understanding is yes, this is called Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga? Yat karoshi, yat joshi, yat dadasi, tat kurushmadarpanam. We are attached to some position, but the results I can offer to Krishna. So this Prabhupada very nicely explains is a very good position. Many people are able to chant 16 rounds also. So this position is higher than sadhana bhakti also in its initial stages. So picking up 16 rounds, following four regulative principles is easy, but offering the results to Krishna not easy. Not easy. This money does not come out of pocket very easily. A lot of attachment is there. So that is why after chanting, following everything nicely, a person develops attachment to Krishna. Then he is able to offer the money also. But still, there is another advanced stage. And even though the person, then Prabhupada explains this position in Bhagavatam, some people are able to give up the results of their activity to Krishna. They are, and apparently, they are not at all attached to money. They are giving all the money to Krishna, but they are very much attached to family life. Such people also are not capable to understand Krishna consciousness. Apparently, they are not greedy, but because they are attached to family life, they also are not able to understand Krishna consciousness. Family life is the strongest entanglement. So, family life, or this is, of course, very strong attachment, but people get attached to their business, their jobs, or regular affairs also. So, yes, this also has to be given up, and that is called complete surrender. So initially, whatever activities we are doing, we can remain engaged in those activities and offer the results to Krishna. And when we are offering the results to Krishna, automatically uh, knowledge and renunciation will be established in the heart. Then a person will completely surrender. Then he or she will say, "Yes, Prabhu, please tell me what should I do to serve Krishna." That is called complete surrender. So that is the highest stage. That will eventually come if a person is offering the results of his activities or her activities to Krishna. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. To chant. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. 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 So the question is, this lecture started with discussion on consciousness at the time of death. And then we concluded how to maintain that consciousness at the time of death. But what about sudden death? No time to maintain to think of Krishna, because if a person is very advanced devotee, then he can always chant and think of Krishna. But those who are not advanced, they can die at any time. You are walking on road, somebody hits you from behind and you die. So what is the situation? What is the fate of that person? So the fate of that person is he has to take more births and he has to cultivate. That is why it is told one should lead one's life in such a way that I can die in the next minute. So I should always, that is why it is practice Krishna consciousness. So those who are not able to remain Krishna conscious at the time of death, again they are given birth to continue their Krishna consciousness in the next life. But some very advanced devotees, yes, by chance, they are not able to think of Krishna. They are always trying to think of Krishna. But one who has served spiritual master without any reservation, who has surrendered completely, then Prabhupada tells, if you are not able to think of Krishna, Krishna will think of you. Krishna is not ungrateful. So that is why remaining a soul surrendered to the spiritual master is very safe position. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So question is suicide is called unnatural death. So accident is also unnatural or natural. So accident is also unnatural death. Ideally, a person should be able to finish their lifetime. That is because of sinful activities. Yeah. Yes. So that is why the question is by destiny, somebody is supposed to die. So that is because of our sinful activities. So otherwise, it is told as per the normal laws, uh, if everyone is following the rules and regulations nicely, son should not die before father. So if accident is happening or any this thing calamity is happening, that son has died before father. It means the rules and regulations of scriptures are not being followed nicely. That is why when during the time of uh, Lord Ramchandra, Brahmana's son died before him. So he told, you are not ruling nicely. Similarly, there was a case in the time of Arjuna when Brahmana's sons were dying. Arjuna told, I will bring them back. You know, this wonderful instance when they had to go to meet Mahavishnu. So this is the arrangement. Arrangement of Krishna is so nice that even in this material world, there should be no anxiety, it is told. The rain should happen only at night. In the daytime, it should not rain so that people can carry on their normal duties. Rain should happen only at night. But now we see anytime it rains, especially in Mumbai. No time to open umbrella also. And now in Rajasthan, the rainfalls were scanty. But here, by the time you open umbrella, you are drenched. So suddenly it happens. So rains were supposed to fall only at night. This is the arrangement. There should be no extreme weather conditions. Extreme heat or cold means the ruler is not nice. Ruler's fault. Otherwise, there should be no problems. Even for animals, there should be no anxiety. So in this way, the Vedas are written so nicely. At macro level or micro level, we'll be completely aloof from the disturbances of the world. So all these are unnatural deaths, and that is destiny. Yes, that is destiny because of our violating the rules and regulations. That these accidents are happening. Prabhupada tells in America, you got the best of the roads and the best cars. India may same company makes duplicate cars. They will not use the. So you have got the best of the cars, best of the defense systems, and still you have the maximum road accidents. Why? Best roads, best cars, best everything. Why maximum road accidents? Because you are maintaining slaughterhouses. In slaughterhouse, the situation of animal is similar to that of a person who dies in road accident. So because of this karma, you are having this fate. So nature is not designed to punish us in all these things. Because we are sinful, all these things are coming up and people are having unnatural deaths. Yeah. So the question is 1 or 2 years ago, devotees were also killed like this. Why 1 or 2 years? Devotees are always persecuted like this. Many devotees have been killed, have been tortured. And typical example is Haridas Thakur in our case, or Jesus Christ in Christianity. Devotees have always been persecuted, being punished. And Jatayu, Lord Ramchandra, accidental death. So why in devotees' case it is happening? So again, for this also I've given elaborate answer. You can search what is the title? Why Lord Ram did not save Jatayu. You can search Lord Ram did not save Jatayu. I've explained in detail the answer. Why devotees also appear to be suffering sometimes, but that is not suffering. So you can hear that. So we can finish. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की